Hi, children. I'm Vicky Carlton, and I love reading stories to children, especially Bible stories. And this story today is from the Jesus Storybook Bible. So it's actually from the Bible, and it's retold by Sally Lloyd Jones, and it's called A New Way to See. And it's about a man who was really a great enemy of Jesus, who really hated Jesus, but he came to really love Jesus. And it's about something that happened to him as he was going along this path that you can see behind me, this old road that was going to a city called Damascus. So the story is called A New Way to See. And it's not just about seeing things with your eyes. Like you can see, I've got my glasses on at the moment because I need my glasses to see properly. It's about also seeing things with your heart. Of all the people who kept the rules, Saul was the best. I'm good at being good, he'd tell you. He was very proud and he was very good, but he wasn't very nice. Saul hated anyone who loved Jesus. He traveled around looking for them. He wanted to catch them and put them in prison. He wanted everyone to forget all about Jesus. He didn't believe Jesus was a rescuer, and he didn't believe Jesus was alive either. You see, Saul had never met Jesus. So one day, Jesus met Saul. You can see Saul there. Okay, so one day, Jesus decided that he was going to meet Saul. Saul was on his way to Damascus, and you can see Damascus in the background here, when suddenly a dazzling light flashed like lightning, but it was even brighter than lightning, brighter than the sun. It was so bright that Saul he felt, well, he didn't get off his horse, he fell off his horse and he was shielding his eyes, and it gave him such a headache. Saul, Saul, said a loud voice, why are you fighting me? Lord, Saul answered, who are you? I am Jesus, said the voice. When you hurt my friends, you are hurting me too. Saul's whole body was trembling. Go to the city, Jesus said. I'll tell you what to do. So Saul was terrified because he just heard a voice. And of course, it was Jesus talking to him from heaven. When Saul opened his eyes, he couldn't see. He was blind. His helpers had to hold his hand and lead him like he was a little boy. Saul was blind for 3 whole days, and yet it was as if he was seeing for the very first time. Meanwhile, there was a man called Ananias who loved Jesus. Jesus came to him in a dream. Go to Saul and pray for him, and I will make him see again. Ananias knew all about Saul and how he hated Jesus' followers. Lord, he has come to hurt us. But Jesus told Ananias in a dream, Saul is the one I've chosen to tell the whole world who I am. So Ananias went to Saul. Brother Saul, Ananias said, it was Jesus that you met on the road. That voice you heard, that was Jesus. And Ananias prayed for Saul. Suddenly, Saul could see again, but he saw everything differently. From the time that he was blinded, he felt very different in his heart and in his mind. He wasn't mean anymore. He even changed his name from Saul to Paul, which means small and humble, the very opposite of proud, which was how Saul had been in the past. And do you know what Ananias's name means? It means the Lord is full of grace. Grace is just another word for gift, which is funny because that's just what Paul's message was all about from then on. Okay. And here you have got the picture of Paul before he could see again. It's not about keeping rules, Paul told people. You don't have to be good at being good for God to love you. You just have to believe what Jesus has done and follow him. Because it's not about trying, it's about trusting. It's not about rules, it's about grace. God's free gift that cost him everything. What had happened to Paul? What had happened to Paul to change him so much? Well, he had met Jesus, hadn't he? He had met Jesus on the road to Damascus. So Paul got a new job. He called himself a servant and he traveled everywhere telling everyone about Jesus. He got shipwrecked 3 times. He even ended up in prison. He had so many adventures and he met so many people and he told so many people about Jesus. God loves us, he wrote from prison. Nothing can ever, no, not ever, separate us from the never stopping, never giving up, unbreaking, always and forever love of God he showed us in Jesus. You can read a lot about Paul's travels and about the things that he said and that he wrote from prison when you read the Bible. And so it was, just as God promised Abraham, because God had promised Abraham that dark night all those years before, that the family of God's children grew and grew. Because God promised Abraham that his descendants would become greater than all the stars in the sky, until one day they would come to number more than even all the stars in the sky. And of course, Paul, by going out to the world, to all these different lands and telling people about Jesus, he helped to spread the word and to make sure that thousands and thousands of people got to know all about Jesus. What an exciting, amazing life Paul had. And what a big change he had, didn't he? From being a really proud man and being really against Jesus to really loving Jesus. That is an incredible adventure story. Thank you so much for listening so well to this story, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Bye.
For more of Victoria Carlton's tips, go to YouTube and search Victoria Carlton Programs. Victoria's products are available on Teachers Pay Teachers. They cover literacy, emotional intelligence, and Sunday school lessons. Victoria's website address, blog, and email address are on the screen in front of you. Victoria Carlton reserves the right of copyright on all her products.